Everyone's like, what? Fall through the basket? Competition, let's talk about that. That's all connected. We're not doing a lower speeds today, no, no, no. So, as you can see, 250 again, yay! What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Martin, and today we're looking at an Audi that solved an Autobahn problem, an Autobahn problem. Like 10 years ago, or 5 years ago even, all the mid-level BMWs, Mercedes, Audis could do 250 kilometers an hour. Then they introduced all the plug-in hybrids, and we could only do like 220 or 230. Now, good news for the Autobahn lovers. The A5, the new one, the plug-in hybrids, can do 250 again. Yay! So great job, Audi. So this is actually the base level version for the plug-in hybrid. So this is 299 horsepower, and even this will do 250. There's also a 367 horsepower version, which obviously also does 250. And of course there's also the Audi S5, but that's a V6 mild hybrid. This is a real true plug-in hybrid. It can do 100 kilometers on a single charge, which is actually super convenient. I've been using it for days now. That's really nice, just doing the small trips with the electric engine, charging it up with solar panels or however you like, and then you can run this quite cheaply. Actually, I do really like this spec, this silverish blue, really nice. I think a good color for an Audi. It doesn't have all the black stuff, which I like. So it does not have the competition edition package. We have these silver wheels with the black inserts in there, so the base is black, and then you have this silver surface, which is a bit polished, I guess, because it's quite shiny. It's an RS design wheel, apparently. Looks really good. Little e-hybrid badge on the side there. All the beautiful chrome trim, that's really good looking. Bring back the, well, it's not chrome, it's silver or aluminium. Bring back the aluminium trim. I think it looks awesome. Aluminium exhausts, which are actually real. Let me get my camera out for you guys. Look at that, true exhaust. Not even. That's all connected. Looking good, Audi. Looking good. They were the king of fake exhausts, but now they have really fixed that with the later models. They don't do that anymore, as far as I know. So that's really good. Okay, let's have a look at the engine. I already did a review in Germany with the 367 horsepower version. If you haven't seen that video, go click in the top right corner. And hardware wise, they're actually the same. So the 299 horsepower version and the 367. So they both have this 2-liter TFSI engine, which produces 252 horsepower. And then they combine it with the electric engine, and then you either have 299 or 367. That's all down to software. They're both linked to a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox. And as I said, they both do 250 kilometers an hour. This will do 5.9 seconds to 100. The more powerful version, 5.1. So let's see if it'll actually do 5.9 to 100 and if it'll actually do 250 kilometers an hour. So competition, let's talk about that. So you have the BMW 330e, which will do 230 kilometers an hour. And then there's the C300e by Mercedes, which will do 240, and then there's this 250. So as you can see, this is an S edition, so that means we have a sportier suspension, which is 2 centimeters lower than the normal suspension. So downsides, let's talk about that. I really don't like the infotainment. I think it's a bit laggy, and I've driven quite a lot of Cupra products lately, which of course is the lesser brand within the VW group. But I think the infotainment in the Cupras is far better than this Audi system. It's a bit laggy, it's a bit slow to respond. I don't really like the menus. I think some of the buttons are just too small. For instance, the stupid safety nanny. Look at how slow that went. Okay, I want to turn this off. But these little sliders, they're way too small, especially if you're driving. They're tiny actually. Dynamic mode. Then the petrol engine kicks in. Suspension, we're going for S. ESC Sport. And of course we're using RaceBox for all the testing. And if you use code Audi A5 you get a 10% discount on all RaceBox products. In this case it's the RaceBox Mini S linked to my phone. It's a 25 Hz GPS signal, so super accurate to test the performance of your car. And you can also use it as a lap timer. You can do brake testing, acceleration testing, everything we do. It's a super handy little device, especially if you like testing cars and stuff like that. So in this mode, like dynamic mode, gearbox in sport mode, it's the nicest way to drive this car. So even if you just daily it, you go to work, I think this is the nicest mode. Even though the suspension is also in dynamic mode, it's far from harsh or uncomfortable. It's just nice. It sits nice. It feels nice. Same goes for the gearbox. It's just really alive, and the drivetrain in general feels like that. 5.84. So perfect. 5.9 claimed. A little faster than what they say. Let's give that another try. I don't understand, you don't have launch control, so it's doing quite a weird little start right there, but .85, so it's very consistent, which I really appreciate. So as I said, just stick the gearbox into S. We do have a dual clutch unit, but if you do manual shifting, it is very laggy. Like, it really doesn't like that. Especially the downshifts are taking ages. So don't do that, just go for sport. If you stick the gearbox into sport, the electric engine and the petrol engine, they're always there, and that's really nice. You always have that 300 horsepower available. So if you stick it into D instead of S, as you can see, the combustion engine disappears into the background and it jolts on whenever it needs to. Just on pure EV power, it's actually also really nice, but you do this in town and at lower speeds. But we're not doing lower speeds today, no. We are going to see if we can hit 250 right there. GPS verified. They say it'll do 250. Let's find out. But first, since there's hardly anyone behind me, we're going to test the 100 to 200 performance. Let's go. .5. I have to say, I've driven the 367 horsepower version, so that's 68 horsepower extra, and you do really notice that. So that was like truly a quick car. This is more relaxed, but it's getting there. I mean, it's quite, you know, linear. It just keeps pulling. It just doesn't really impress with its oomph. But there we have it, 250 GPS. Right on the money. Good job, Audi. Finally, we have our fast Audis again, even in the sort of mid-section. I mean, that's always been the dream, right? A sort of affordable Audi. We have Quattro, you can have it as an avant. You want to go to Switzerland, Austria, and you want to go 250 kilometers an hour. That's why you get it. That's part of the charm, right? I always feel like. Maybe it's less relevant for other parts in the world, but I think over here it's part of the Audi DNA to do that. It's a bit meh, that 16.5. For 300 horsepower it should be a bit quicker. Just a bit. But it is very consistent. I mean, considering this is a hybrid drivetrain, which normally is all over the place if you do one pull and then the second pull is just very different, the consistency is really there. You sort of forget that it's a hybrid. It always gives me that performance, that 300 horsepower. I think this is a very good car. Yes, it's a bit distant, but that's always the case with Audis. Don't really like this. Other than that, I think it's a very, very good car. I mean, the high-speed stability, the Quattro system, everything is what we want from an Audi. It doesn't have to be really exciting in the twisties. That's not why you get an Audi. With an Audi you want this secure performance in all conditions, and that's what this car really offers. I love this, really. That was really good. That's always a pretty tricky part of this piece of Autobahn. It's a little corner and then these bumps come into play, and that's where a lot of suspension setups fall through the basket. I love doing that. Everyone's like, what? Fall through the basket? Go look it up. But this suspension, really good. Audi has made a very good car with this new A5. Just get it as an avant. I think it's much prettier as an avant and much more practical, of course. But this drivetrain, fabulous, really. I would personally get the extra 68 horsepower because that was just fast, quick. It felt like a bit too much, which is always good for a daily driver. So yeah, all in all, great car, great car. If you live in Germany, you want to go a bit faster when it quiets down on the Autobahn, this is it. It does truly make a difference if you can do 230 or 250. It does feel, I don't know why, but it does make a difference. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Hope you liked the video, hope you liked the car, and if you don't, go watch another one. Subscribe to the channel or check out this video. Bye guys.